I feel like I could be Batman. I feel like you could be Batman. Anybody could be Batman. You just gotta get the gadget.
You guys, we need to talk about what's happening with Kim Kardashian and North West right now, because the internet is absolutely losing it. North just showed up with face tattoos and piercings at 12 years old, and people have a lot to say about it. But here's where it gets messy. This isn't just about some fake tattoos. This is about Kim's parenting being questioned, Kanye's influence on their kids, and some really serious health stuff that Kim just opened up about. We're going to get into the tattoo drama, what Kim said about co-parenting with Kanye, and why she revealed she had a brain aneurysm that could have changed everything. So let's dive in. So first, let's talk about what started this whole conversation. North West, who is 12 years old, recently showed up at her mom's 44th birthday party with what looked like face tattoos and piercings. And I mean, the internet immediately went into overdrive. People were posting photos everywhere, and the comments were divided. Some people were like, she's expressing herself, let her live. And others were saying, she's 12 years old, what is Kim thinking? The tattoos included what looked like a scorpion on her face and some other designs. Plus, she had multiple piercings. Now, before everyone completely spirals, Kim came out pretty quickly to clarify that the tattoos were fake. They were temporary tattoos that North was just experimenting with for fun. But even with that clarification, people were not letting this go. They were questioning Kim's parenting choices and asking why she would even let her daughter do something like that, even if it was temporary. And look, I get both sides of this. On one hand, they're fake tattoos. Kids experiment with their style all the time. It's not like North actually went out and got permanent face tattoos at 12 years old. But on the other hand, I can see why people are concerned, because face tattoos, even fake ones, send a certain message. And when you're in the public eye like North is, everything you do is going to be scrutinized. So Kim found herself having to defend her parenting once again, which honestly seems to be a recurring theme in her life lately.
Kim's the only parent here, then she's the one who gets to make the rules on how North West is able to express herself. And she has said that she wants North to be able to embrace whatever style she likes. But I don't know, I feel bad for North. She's being raised by only Kim, really. Her father, Kanye, is not mentally well. And Kim's constantly working, she's always filming, so I can't imagine what her life is like.
Kim posted on social media addressing the controversy, and she was pretty straightforward about it. She said that North is a creative kid who loves to express herself through fashion and makeup, and that these were just temporary tattoos for fun. She emphasized that she's not letting her daughter make permanent decisions about her appearance at such a young age, but she also wants to give her the freedom to explore her creativity. And honestly, I think that's fair. Like, when I was 12, I was definitely doing questionable things with my appearance too. And I turned out fine. But the difference is, I wasn't doing it in front of millions of people on the internet. That's what makes this situation so much more complicated for the Kardashian kids. Everything they do is going to be analyzed and criticized, and that's a lot of pressure for a 12-year-old to handle. Speaking of pressure, this situation with North's appearance choices is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle when it comes to Kim's parenting journey. This situation with North's tattoos opened up a much larger conversation about Kim's parenting in general. And it's not just random people on the internet questioning her choices. It's become this ongoing narrative that Kim is struggling to parent her kids, especially when it comes to co-parenting with Kanye West. Kim has 4 kids with Kanye: North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalm. And ever since their divorce, there have been constant rumors and speculation about how they're handling raising their children together. Recently, Kim opened up about her parenting struggles in a really vulnerable way. She admitted that parenting is the hardest thing she's ever done, which I think a lot of parents can relate to. But for Kim, it's complicated by the fact that she's doing it largely on her own, while also trying to navigate Kanye's involvement in their kids' lives. And from what she's said, it sounds like Kanye has taken a step back from the day-to-day parenting responsibilities, which has left Kim feeling overwhelmed and sometimes unsupported.
I'd say parenting is the thing that has taught me the most about myself. It has been the most challenging thing. There are nights I cry myself to sleep, like, what just happened? There's nothing that can prepare you. I don't care how long you wait. I don't care what you're waiting for. You are never prepared.
In one interview, Kim talked about how she basically feels like a single mom most of the time, even though Kanye is still in the picture. She said that she's the one handling all the morning routines, the school drop-offs, the homework help, the bedtime routines, basically everything. And while she has help from nannies and her family, at the end of the day, the responsibility falls on her. She talked about how exhausting it is to try to be everything for her kids while also managing her businesses and her public image.
So my job as a mom is to just make sure that at a time when that behavior is happening is just to make sure that they are protected. As much as people think that I have the luxury of walking away and not dealing ever again, that's not my reality.
But here's where it gets really complicated. Kim also talked about trying to protect her kids from some of Kanye's more controversial behavior and public statements. She said that she tries to shield them from the negativity and the drama, but it's almost impossible when everything is so public. And she's had to have difficult conversations with her kids, especially North, about their dad and why people say certain things about him. That has to be incredibly hard, because on one hand, you want your kids to have a relationship with their father, but on the other hand, you also want to protect them from anything that might be harmful or confusing for them. Kim also revealed something really personal that gave context to why parenting has been so overwhelming for her lately. And this is where the conversation takes a much more serious turn, because what she shared could have changed everything for her family.
Reality television star businesswoman Kim Kardashian disclosing that she had a brain aneurysm. It came during the seventh season of the premiere of The Kardashians.
So this is the part that really shocked people. Kim revealed that she was diagnosed with a brain aneurysm, and the way she talked about it made it clear how serious this was. This can be a life-threatening situation, including stroke or even death. So this is not something to take lightly at all. Kim opened up about this diagnosis during a conversation with her mom, Kris Jenner, and it was really emotional. She talked about how scared she was when she first found out, and how she had to process the reality that something could happen to her brain at any moment. She said that doctors are monitoring it, and right now it's stable, but it's something that will need to be watched for the rest of her life. The uncertainty of it all is what's so frightening, not knowing if or when something could go wrong. What made this revelation even more impactful was the timing of it. Kim shared this information while also talking about her struggles with parenting and feeling overwhelmed. She said that finding out about the aneurysm really put things in perspective for her. It made her think about what would happen to her kids if something happened to her, and it made her realize how important it is to make the most of every moment with them. She talked about feeling this pressure to be present and to create memories with her children, because you just never know what could happen.
If I say I'm exhausted, I feel guilty about that. I am exhausted. And by the way, I'm the one where shit could be going down and I get in the car and every day the kids want to blast dad's music and I'm like, he's the best, yeah. And I put it on and we're singing along and inside I'm like dying.
Kim also mentioned that the stress of everything, the divorce, co-parenting with Kanye, running her businesses, dealing with public scrutiny, has taken a toll on her health. And while she didn't directly say that stress caused the aneurysm, she did acknowledge that constant stress and pressure can have serious impacts on your body. It was a really vulnerable moment for her, and I think it showed a side of Kim that we don't always see. Usually, she's so polished and put together, but in this moment, she was just a scared mom thinking about her mortality and her kids' future. The response from fans was overwhelmingly supportive. People were sending her well wishes and telling her to take care of herself. And honestly, I think this revelation made a lot of people reconsider some of the criticism they've thrown at her. Like, yes, she's a public figure, and yes, her parenting choices are going to be scrutinized. But she's also a human being, dealing with really serious health concerns while trying to raise 4 kids largely on her own. That's a lot for anyone to handle. And this health scare is just one of many challenges Kim has been navigating while trying to give her kids as normal a life as possible.
It'll be all this talk on the internet of like, I'm keeping the kids. He's never once called and asked. But then I'll wake up and it's on Twitter that I'm keeping the kids. So it's just when it's not true and not rational, I just have to I can't engage all the time.
Now, we need to talk about Kanye's role in all of this, because his presence, or sometimes lack thereof, has been a huge part of the conversation. Co-parenting after a divorce is hard enough, but co-parenting with someone as unpredictable and controversial as Kanye West adds a whole other layer of complexity. And from what Kim has shared, it sounds like this has been one of the most challenging aspects of her life since their split. Kim has been pretty diplomatic about Kanye in public. She said multiple times that she wants their kids to have a good relationship with their father and that she would never try to keep them from him. But at the same time, she's also had to set boundaries and protect her kids from some of Kanye's more erratic behavior. And that's a really difficult balance to strike, especially when Kanye has been so public about his feelings regarding their divorce and Kim's parenting. There have been several instances where Kanye has publicly criticized Kim's parenting choices. He's made comments about the school the kids go to, about how much time they spend on social media, and about the kind of content they're exposed to. And while some of his concerns might be valid from a father's perspective, the way he's gone about expressing them, publicly and sometimes aggressively, has made the situation much more difficult for Kim to handle.
I said, I'm not allowing my daughter to be used by TikTok, to be used by Disney. I have a say-so.
One of the biggest issues seems to be around North specifically. North is the oldest, and she's at that age where she's starting to develop her own identity and make her own choices about how she presents herself to the world. Kanye has been vocal about not wanting his kids to be overexposed on social media or to become too influenced by Hollywood culture. But Kim sees things differently. She believes in letting her kids express themselves and explore their creativity, which is why she defended North's fake tattoos and her interest in makeup and fashion. This difference in parenting philosophies has created tension between Kim and Kanye. Kim has said that she tries to communicate with him about their kids and include him in important decisions, but it's difficult when they have such different views on what's best for them. And the fact that Kanye has been less present in the day-to-day routines means that Kim is the one making most of the decisions by default, which then leads to Kanye criticizing those decisions after the fact. Kim has also talked about how she tries to speak positively about Kanye to their kids, even when it's hard. She said she never wants them to feel like they have to choose sides, or that their dad is a bad person. But she's also had to explain to them why their dad sometimes says or does things that don't make sense or that hurt people's feelings. That's an incredibly difficult position to be in as a parent, and I think Kim deserves credit for trying to handle it with grace. Despite all these challenges, Kim has been determined to create as stable and loving an environment as possible for her children.
Kim Kardashian is defending her 12-year-old daughter, Northwest, after a TikTok showing North with face tattoos and piercings stirred major controversy online. Kim isn't having it. In a new interview, she called the outrage such a non-issue, saying North's look was all for fun and part of her growing passion for makeup and creative expression.
Of course, the internet had a field day with all of this. The reactions to North's tattoos, Kim's parenting, and the aneurysm revelation were all over the place. On one side, you had people defending Kim and saying that she's doing the best she can in an incredibly difficult situation. They pointed out that she's raising 4 kids while dealing with a high-profile divorce, running multiple businesses, and now managing a serious health condition. They said that people need to give her a break and stop scrutinizing every single thing she does. On the other side, you had people who were much more critical. They questioned why Kim would let North wear fake face tattoos at all, saying that it sends the wrong message and that Kim is trying too hard to be the cool mom instead of setting appropriate boundaries. Some people brought up Kanye's concerns and said that maybe he has a point about the kids being overexposed and growing up too fast in the spotlight. There were debates about whether Kim is being too permissive or whether she's just letting her kids be themselves.
And suggests the stress caused her to develop a brain aneurysm.
There's like a little aneurysm. Whoa. They're like, just stress. And I'm like, why the is this happening?
The aneurysm revelation shifted the conversation a bit, though. A lot of people who had been critical of Kim softened their tone and expressed sympathy for what she's going through. They said that it must be terrifying to deal with that kind of health scare while also trying to be present for your kids and manage everything else in your life. Some people shared their own experiences with aneurysms or other serious health conditions, and there was this outpouring of support and understanding. But of course, this is the internet, so there were also people who were skeptical. Some accused Kim of using the aneurysm revelation as a way to garner sympathy and deflect from the criticism about North's tattoos. They said that the timing was suspicious, and that Kim always seems to have a personal revelation or crisis right when she needs to change the narrative. Personally, I think that's a pretty cynical take, because health issues are serious, and I don't think Kim would lie about something like that. But that's the reality of being a public figure. People are always going to question your motives, even when you're being vulnerable. There were also conversations about how much pressure North and the other Kardashian kids are under growing up in the spotlight. People pointed out that North didn't choose to be famous, but she's dealing with all the scrutiny and criticism that comes with it. Some argued that Kim and Kanye should do more to protect their kids' privacy and let them have a more normal childhood, while others said that the kids seem happy and well-adjusted, and that Kim is doing fine. It's a complicated situation with no easy answers, and the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. What's clear from all the reactions is that people have very strong opinions about the Kardashians and how they're raising their kids. And whether you agree with Kim's choices or not, I think we can all acknowledge that parenting in the public eye comes with challenges that most of us will never have to face. But through all the noise and opinions, Kim seems committed to doing what she thinks is best for her family. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Do you think Kim is doing the best she can in a really difficult situation? Or do you think she should be setting stricter boundaries with her kids? And what about the aneurysm revelation? Does that change how you see everything she's dealing with? I'm really curious to hear your perspective on all of this because it's such a complex situation with so many different angles. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and send this to a friend who's been following the Kardashian drama as hard as we have. Sending love to Kim and her family as they navigate all of this and hoping she stays healthy. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!